Why is it that Israel was able to do a pager attack, sophisticated, against Hezbollah, a superior military? They're able to decapitate them through targeted airstrikes and a pager attack. So you're able to do this against Hezbollah and IRGC, superior militaries, but you can't do that against Gaza in your backyard when they can't actually fight back?
Right.
It was always about ethnic cleansing. The Mossad's old motto used to be, by deception, we create war. At the end of the Bush era, he came across like a very big problem. And they declassified this recently. He found out that the Israelis had almost started a war with the United States with Iran. So basically, the Mossad tried to attack Iran, posing as CIA operatives that could have got us into a war. These guys used a terrorist organization to conduct an attack against their enemy and blame it on the United States. That's what they try to do. Is this our greatest ally?
It actually makes sense what they said.
Yeah.
If you know what's going on out there in West Bank and Gaza.
Absolutely crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And they're trying to annex the thing right now. Trump says, oh, well, they can't annex it. Well, if we do, that's going to be a problem. Bro, they're already doing it. They're just not officially doing it. Like every day, there's like settlers are attacking Palestinians. They cut the West Bank up in a way where it's damn near impossible for Palestinians to travel. Like that was their plan. Because like what the Israelis do is like with the for the Oslo Accords. Oh yeah, we're gonna come up with some agreement for the West Bank to split it or whatever maybe. What the Israelis do is they obviously is the military power and the influence and the money and the resources. They just expand the West Bank more and more illegally. And then when they revisit it a year or two later, oh yeah, facts on the ground have changed. That's what it's called, facts on the ground for them. Yeah. Facts on the ground have changed. We can't agree to what we talked about last time because we've expanded the settlements. Let's revisit this. And then they just buy themselves more and more time and continue to expand the settlements. And they've already annexed it. They just didn't formally do it.
Right, right. I look at the West Bank and Gaza, it's just totally demolished.
Yeah.
Totally demolished.
Yeah. And we already saw the plans. Like what Kushner and Witkoff, they talked about this. They let the mask slip on 60 Minutes. Do you see their 60-minute interview?
I didn't see that.
So Witkoff and Jared Kushner are doing a 60-minute interview.
And Jared Kushner?
The Jared Kushner, yeah. And Witkoff kind of like lets it slip, like, yeah, we have plans for the area, plans. And you can see Jared like get really uncomfortable, like, nigga, shut up. What are you talking about?
They released that AI video of Trump Gaza.
Oh, yeah. They released that, yeah.
They tell you exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, isn't that video of Kushner saying that's prime real estate?
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful real estate in the world.
Now I'm going to connect all the dots for you. So, because a lot of Americans don't know this, and people say, oh, why is it ethnic cleansing? I'll tell you why it's going to be ethnic cleansing. So, have you guys ever been to Dubai?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. So, Dubai in the UAE, right? Beautiful location, safe, clean. 90% of the people there are expatriates, people from other countries, right? So, they figured out how to do mass immigration without all the crime, right? And it's generated a lot of money for the state with tourism, people moving there, etc. Saudi Arabia saw this and said, damn, we need to find other ways to make money too. We can't rely on oil forever because people are getting electric cars. They're trying to be more diversified in their income, generate for the country. So what did they do? Let women drive, get rid of the ban on alcohol, create more nightclubs, and bring in WWE, bring in UFC, trying to bring more tourist attractions to generate revenue from tourist industry. Obviously, Trump and Kushner and all these guys, are seeing like all this money that could be made in the Middle East. Well, Gaza's in a perfect area, like you said, beachfront property, etc.
Yeah, they're real estate moguls. They
can
exactly
turn that exactly. They can turn that into and Trump. Up in March. I remember when Netanyahu came in before to talk about tariffs, and Trump was like randomly off the cuff, yeah, we're going to take Gaza over. We're going to cherish it. We're going to do all this shit. Yeah. And you can see Netanyahu like, nigga, what are you doing? Bro, they're not supposed to know this. Right. Like, well, shut up. Yeah, relax. We're here to talk about tariffs, right? It's like, what? So Trump is saying we're going to, and then the reporters like grilled him like, under what authority? What do you mean you're going to take over Gaza? What do you mean you're going to cherish it?
They're going to send the Palestinians to another country,
Yeah, and if you notice, like he stopped saying that shit after that. After they grilled him, he just shut up after that. Yeah. The schematics came out, like the blueprints and shit, what they want to do. And once you figure out what's going on in the Middle East, it all makes sense. UAE did a project where let's create an international city where people can come and make money and be successful. Was successful. Saudi Arabia, we need to make money too. They're doing it. Now with Gaza, these guys, precisely. Now Israel wants to be able to cash in on that, and the United States. So they're going to turn that into a Dubai Part 2 is what I think. An international city, maybe run half by United States, half by Israel, whatever it may be, but it's going to be a tourist destination. They're going to make a lot of money, and that's what they want to do. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. Just like, because I'm looking at the trends in the Middle East, and they're trying to modernize and make more money off tourism, get off the petrodollar so much, and stop just only importing oil. They need to be diversified because this electric vehicle thing is going to be a thing in like 10, 20 years. China's like, they're so ahead of us when it comes to electric cars. Like oil is obviously always going to be important, but the dependence on it for vehicles is going to drop off more and more.
Right. That's their game plan. That's why that war's going on.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why they like have demolished it to the degree that they demolished it.
Yeah, because they're going to rebuild it.
Precisely. And then the other argument, because when I was talking with Tatum about this, he was like, well, they attack first, I'll find out. I was like, okay, why is it that Israel was able to do a pager attack, sophisticated, against Hezbollah, a superior military? They're able to decapitate them through targeted airstrikes and a pager attack, which they had those bombs in there for 10 years, by the way, like literally 10 years on those walkie-talkies and those devices.
Wow.
And then they were able to do Operation Rising Lion, where they literally had Mossad operatives in the country building drones, took out their air defense. Air Force comes and follows up. They assassinate Ishmael Haniyeh in his room with his bodyguard, direct attack. Like, you guys can clearly kill people directly, right? They did it with Operation Rising Lions, killed these scientists. Precise drones. Building is still intact. Attacked the corner apartment and killed everybody in there without taking the building down. You guys can do this precise shit, but you're destroying Gaza when Hamas is a far inferior army. So you're able to do this against Hezbollah and IRGC, superior militaries, but you can't do that against Gaza in your backyard when they can't actually fight back.
Right.
It was always about ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, the IDF is just a demolition crew. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Just knocking down the building.
They don't give. Now we know, like, financial incentives. So yeah, I predict in 20 to 30 years, Gaza's going to end up being like a huge tourist destination and casinos and all that.
Do you think at that point the conservatives would, especially the Brandon Tatums of the world, you think they would admit that they were used?
I think at this point, they're in too deep, man. If you're still supporting Israel at this point, you're not going to change your mind. If you haven't got red pill on this shit yet, it's over. Like, Piers Morgan, I'll give him credit. At first, you know, Israel has the right to defend itself. Then as the war got worse and worse and worse, he was like, yeah, this is too much. So, like, that's a guy that, like, I've seen kind of change their mind as this conflict has been going on.
Right.
But anyone that's still defending Israel at this point, where the majority of people have been killed, there's no going back now.
Like, the whole world has flipped its script when it comes to Israel. Every country outside of the United States and Israel want to recognize Palestine as a state. We're the only two countries.
Oh, about that, right? So when France, Canada, what was the last one? Was it Australia? France, Canada, and one other country recognized.
Canada, it was Canada, right?
France, Canada. There was one more. Brett, what was the third country that recognized them? France, Canada, one other English speaking. No, it was another English-speaking country, first world country. But that just goes to show how powerless they are. So they recognize Palestine to kind of try to get Israel to stop the starvation, right? At the time, they were like, you know, the mass hunger and people were dying and everything. It looked really bad optically for them to still be supporting Israel. So they did that kind of as like, yo, you guys got to stop doing this or else we're going to recognize Palestine. Obviously, the Israelis do whatever. And then they recognized them anyway. So I think that was more like a political move to try to check Israel and also kind of like wash a little bit of the blood off their hands. Like, look, we recognize Palestine, even though it's doesn't do shit. But I think they did it more as a slight at Israel versus actually doing it for humanitarian reasons. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
It was like a political move, not a humanitarian move.
Right. Wasn't genuine at all.
France, UK, Canada. Shit, yeah.
Right, yeah.
France, UK, Canada were the three countries that recognized them. Yep.
Yeah, Canada came
Keir
out.
Starmer did it, yeah.
Yeah, Canada came out, Prime Minister said we recognize Palestine as a state.
Yeah,
And
France
Trump,
was the first one to say they were going to do it.
And Trump came out and said we stopping negotiations on because of those statements. I remember Trump did that. I was like, that's wild. And I was like, even Matt Walsh of Daily Wire, he chimed in on and said, wait a minute, you're going to penalize American businesses in Canada for Israel? And then it's like, that doesn't sound like America first.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny.
I do really, truly think we are not a sovereign country. Israel run things.
Yeah. And then they'll sit there and try to say, no, we don't, blah, blah, blah. Qatar gives way more money, China gives way more money, blah, blah, blah.
That's our argument.
They always say that, like, these other countries lobby more. Well, these other countries are under FARA, and number two, Congress isn't paid by Qatar. Right. And we don't have laws, and we don't have anti-Qatar laws, like I said before. It's like, come on, bro, are you guys serious? Like, can Qatar control discourse in Ivy League universities?
Right.
No. And then the majority of Ivy League universities, the presidents are, I think of like the 7 or I think it was 8 or 9 Ivy League schools, the majority, 6 or 7 of them are run by. So it's like,
2% of the population.
2% of the population.
Never heard of QPAC?
Yeah. And then I'm really glad that Levine like said the shit that he said.
Yeah.
Because he literally said, we need to use our resources. We need to band together. We need to do whatever.
He's threatening us.
Yeah. And he's literally saying what their game plan is. Unite, use our resources, get canceled, make them broke, etc. That's the strategy. Oh, you don't like us? We're going to make sure you're broke. We're going to hurt you financially. And that's how they're able to shut people up. Like, I remember when I got demonetized, because of this shit, everyone was like, oh, we ain't talking about that. Like, they were reluctant to even have this conversation because of that. And that's the desired effect. Punish one person so hard that everyone else gets chilled out, like, you know, the chilling effect.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
And he said openly in front of everybody.
Yeah, they're not even hiding it, bro. It's like when Trump went to the Knesset, he admitted, oh yeah, the Adelsons, yeah, they came and they gave money and they love Israel so much and they came more than anybody else. And I'm like, is this guy confessing here at the Knesset that he's influenced by, like, bro, are y'all seeing this? Like, what? Like, it was absolutely nuts.
I wonder if there is genuine support for Israel or are they being blackmailed, because when you find out about their religion, the Talmud, anybody practices Judaism, it's like it's a totally antithetical to Christianity.
It is. I mean, they don't believe in the divinity of Jesus whatsoever at all. Right. Like, at least in Islam, like, bro, if you go to Saudi Arabia and say some things about Jesus, like, they're going to you up. They're going to beat you up. Jihadists defend Jesus more than... Man.
What you doing, Joe? Start it over, Joe?
Yeah, this is nuts.
I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger.
Bigger.
And more loving
Good catch.
than ever before. I love Israel.
Yeah, like him, what he said about the Adelsons, how they like came and, you know, they love Israel and everything else like that. Like, that was like a huge mask slip up there. I think Trump's at a point now where he just doesn't give.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he just says what it is. It's like, whatever, you know, and people, you know, go crazy. But it's nuts, man. It really is crazy. And I think that it's going to get a lot worse. I just don't foresee, they're going to have to be clever about it because if they start banning people now, it'll be too obvious. But I predict shadow banning. I predict, you know.
They need another incident. They need another like false flag incident or something.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, they're going to need like something big to justify what's going on. And they've done it before. Like in Australia, there were like swastikas randomly being drawn on like synagogues and shit. And they found out like it was actually that did it.
Of course.
You know, and literally.
Just like the black people here, it's always a hate crime. You find out they're the perpetrators behind the hate crime.
And it's not outside of the realm. Like Israelis do false flags all the time. Like the Mossad's old motto used to be, by deception, we create war.
Right.
Like that's their old motto. The other one is rise up and kill them first. So that's what they do. I mean, look, I can tell one story. So at the end of the Bush era, he came across like a very big problem. And they declassified this recently. He found out that the Israelis had almost started a war with the United States with Iran. And what ended up happening is basically this. Mossad operatives posed as CIA officers and met with people from the Baloch tribal group, right, who are a part of an organization called Jundullah, right? It's like a separatist group that's based out of Iran. I think they have some people in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, etc. They're kind of a diaspora people, kind of like Kurds, right? These Baloch people. And they've had issues with the Iranian government for a very long time. So they created this Jundullah organization. So what the Israelis did was they posed as American CIA operatives, gave them money and said, hey, conduct an attack in Tehran, Iran. So the Baloch guys are like, all right, cool. We'll take the guns and the money and the resources. Yeah, we hate them too, but why do you guys not want to meet us at this location, a NATO location? You guys want to meet us in this other place? Because they met at weird places. And they suspected that they might have been Israelis because they didn't want to meet at NATO locations. So that was weird. They're like, oh, we're going to do the attack anyway. Luckily, the attack got foiled by the Iranians, and they arrested him. And when they caught the main guy who ended up getting put to death, he admitted, yeah, we got support, whatever. These guys claim to be Americans, but we think that they were really Israelis. So Bush finds out about this shit, does nothing. So basically, the Mossad tried to attack Iran, posing as CIA operatives that could have got us into a war if those guys' attack had actually been successful. And this was recently declassified, and Bush didn't do anything. That goes to show and his administration was a lot of powerful. So obviously it makes sense why he didn't do shit.
Right.
But these guys used a organization to conduct an attack against their enemy and blame it on the United States. That's what they try to do. Is this our greatest ally?
That's nuts.
And this is like something that no one talks about. But like they've done this all time, Levant affair, etc. That's just one example of a false flag.
Oh,
the
weapons
USS
of
Liberty.
Mass destruction. They've been lying to us for
They've been lying. Yeah, like they were the main ones that ran with it was Israeli intelligence that said the anthrax lie.
Right.
Oh, Mohammed Atta met with an Iraqi intelligence officer in Malaysia or some shit like that to pass off anthrax. That was a lie. He comes in and says, if we take out Saddam, it's going to have positive reverberations, whatever. Like, they've been lying to us, giving us bad intel, starting potential wars.
$10 trillion.
Yeah, $10 trillion. Like, this Baloch thing, like, I wish, I'm hopefully more of your audience is going to know about this now, but you guys can look it up. The Balochist people in Jundullah tried to do an attack in Iran and Tehran, and it was going to get blamed on the Americans to try to do that. There's Mossad. And that's our greatest ally. Almost getting us into war with Iran.
Yeah, when they say that they are greatest ally, I'm just like, nah, that's a blood-sucking vampire. They're a parasite. They take all our resources, all our people, and fight that wars for them.
Oh, another funny thing, since we're on Iran, they bombed Qatar. That's crazy to me.
I know. Yeah.
Yo, we got our biggest military bases there.
Right.
You idiots, like, you guys bought, like, and they didn't even get the they wanted. The Hamas guys, like, because the Hamas guys were supposed to be, yeah, and they killed. I think they killed like a Qatari police officer or someone else. They didn't get any of the Hamas guys they wanted to get, so they bombed them for no reason. Put us in a bad spot. I think that's a big reason too why we're letting them train here in Idaho now.
Right.
We got like the little, we gave them like their pilots can come over and train. And then we also signed this agreement with them with almost like if they get attacked again, it's like almost like a NATO trigger, like a pseudo NATO Article 50. Is it Article 51 or Article 5? Double check for me just so I don't sound like a retard. So if they're attacked again, it triggers that where we have to defend them. And here's the other thing too, and this is another example of like why these guys us up. When they bombed Qatar like that, right, and failed, number one, we look like idiots because our base is there and we're supposed to protect them. And Trump had just struck like a business deal, got the jet from them and they're going to invest in our infrastructure, et cetera. So they do that. They undermine our diplomacy there. And then on top of that, the Saudis are like, oh shit, if they can attack Qatar when the biggest military base is there with no consequence, we need to secure ourselves. What do? They go meet with the Pakistanis, sign a nuclear deal. Now Saudi Arabia basically is a nuclear superpower. Because if someone attacks Saudi Arabia, it's considered an attack on Pakistan. And they signed that agreement like, and that is like the beginning of like a Muslim NATO.
Right.
So Israel's cowboy rogue foreign policy alienated us from one of our allies. Another one of our allies looked to another country for protection, another nuclear power. And this is what I mean when I say they put us in very precarious diplomatic situations because there's downward effects of the bullshit that they do that we have to clean up.
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to understand that scripture now, the Bible, God's chosen people. I'm starting to understand that.
Article 5, right?
It's Operation Rising Lion.
No. The NATO statute, if they're attacked. I think it's Article 5.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand that term. I think Jesus felt horrible for these people because they're the redheaded stepchild. They everything up.
They do. Absolutely.
That's why he said that God's chosen
Article 5,
people.
sorry.
I got to clean up all y'all's damn messes.
Article 5, cornerstone, an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all. Yeah, sorry. I always have to double check shit. I don't sound like being a
encyclopedia, dude.
I try to like take all the information I get and like put it in a more refined and easy to digest thing. Like that Jundalot thing is like wild to me. I remember when I first like read on it, I was like, what? Like this happened? Like these dudes try to do a false flag using our intelligence agency posing as us?
No, that was during
they had American passports and everything.
That was during the Bush. That was during the Bush years.
Yeah, it happened during the Bush years.
Wasn't there something similar, Joe, with two in Iran? They was trying to blame Iran for something. They was going to assassinate Trump, but we found out it was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
what was that?
The Iranian plot. I know what you're saying.
It's when Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then they all immediately started to blame Iran.
Yep. And the other guy too.
We all know it.
Yeah, the Crooks guy and then the other guy, Ryan Ralph, I think, who tried to shoot him in Florida. They tried to blame that on Iran too. They always try to blame everything
Even
on them.
Donald Trump himself, he's like, if I get assassinated, you know it's Iran. He put it out on True Social.
That's crazy.
Find that freaking tweet anywhere though. It's like gone.
It's like it's been washed.
And we could be partners with Iran and make a bunch of money and you know.
Right. They don't have to be our enemy.
They really don't, bro. And then people say, oh, well, they say death to America, whatever. Death to America, death to Israel, America's the big Satan, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason why they say that is because we their country up. Like they have a problem with the American government. Because here's the thing.
The sanctions and stuff too.
The sanctions of what we've done. But if you go back in history, right? Like we put that regime in charge. Operation Ajax, CIA, British intelligence, and Israeli intelligence, what did we do? We overthrew their democratically elected guy, Mossad. And when he got overthrown, that created the power vacuum for the theocracy of the Ayatollah to come into power. Because Mossad wanted to basically nationalize or protect the oil industry from British rule. Brits were like, we can't have that, right? So they overthrew him, and that's what led to the power vacuum. Yeah, so Mossad gets overthrown in the 50s or 60s. The Shah comes in. When the Shah came in, he was wildly unpopular with the people because he basically out to the West. So, let the Brits have all the oil they wanted, westernized things, took infrastructure away. Basically, they were a vassal state for the West. The people didn't like that, right? So I said, that's what led to the Iranian Revolution in the 1970s, which put the Ayatollah in power that they have now.
Yeah,
Khomeini, and then I think Khomeini. I get one with an O and one with an A. But the main thing is that we started with Operation Ajax. We started the coups, which led to the eventual, put the Shah in, and that led to the Iranian Revolution. So we've been with their shit,
most definitely,
for a while. So it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna feel some type of way.
Right. We would feel that type of way if they did it to us.
Yeah.
So it's just natural for them.
Same thing with Russia. We overthrew with the Maidan Revolution. We overthrew the pro-Russia. Was it not Petrovic? Who's the fuck? See, now I gotta look it up. It was the prime minister who was more. He was more prime. He had a more central stance, Like, he was cool with the Russians, but he also kind of wanted to be cool with the West, but he was a little bit more towards the Russians because obviously they're the neighbors. They couldn't have that. They're like, no, we need someone who's going to be 100% pro-West. Got him out of there. And then, Zelensky comes in who's a puppet. And, that's a big reason why Russia invaded Crimea. Because of the Maidan Revolution.
Trying to protect their borders.
Yeah, everyone thinks like, oh yeah, this war started in 2022. No, bro, this war started 2013 with the Maidan Revolution and us running a coup trying to destabilize them.
Right.
We do all kinds of bullshit, and then we wonder, I wonder why they hate us. Like, we're... Poroshenko, there you go. There you go. So, he tried to play both sides a little bit more with the Russians, but yeah, we had to overthrow him, and that led to the problems. And, a lot of these conflicts, man, is like us self-inflicted.
A lot of the destabilization conflicts going on in the world is because of Western civilization.
100%.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not sitting here saying I sided these other countries, but in order for us to understand why we have the conflicts that we have, we need to go into history and be very honest with ourselves. Look, we've created problems in Iran. Operation Ajax sent that country down a downward trajectory when they had a democratically elected leader, right? With Russia, the conflict with them invading in 2022, it didn't start in 2022. It started with us interfering and expanding NATO, right? It's just that no one likes to talk about this stuff because it puts accountability on us, right?
Right.
9/11 happened because of our interventionist foreign policy in the Middle East, right? And Osama wrote it like, yo, you guys have sanctions that have killed millions of Iraqis. Kids are starving. You've bombed Sudan.
Right.
You've been supporting Israel. And they've killed thousands of Muslims. This is why we don't like you. And when you actually understand why people have problems with us, it's like, damn, maybe we need to change our foreign policy a little bit where we're not interfering with everybody's business. Let these guys have some type of sovereignty, because I'll tell you this, if China set up in Mexico, we'd be in there tomorrow.
Right.
We get mad at other countries for exercising the same exact national security precautions we would take.